Okay, so you want to own a casino, build a palace, fill it with slot machines and poker tables, and watch millions of dollars flow across your floor every single night. People walking in, handing you money, then walking out with less than they came with. And the best part, the math is rigged in your favor before a single chip hits the table. Sounds like the perfect business. It is not the perfect business. And the story of how casinos actually make money, how they keep you inside longer than you planned, how they extract profit from every single square foot of floor space, and how some of the biggest casinos in the world still manage to collapse under the weight of their own success is one of the most fascinating and ruthless stories in all of American business. Before you collect a single dollar from a single gambler, you need to survive getting the doors open. And that is harder, more expensive, and more politically complicated than almost any other business. Let's start with what it actually costs to get in. A large regional casino resort, the kind with a hotel, multiple restaurants, an entertainment venue, and a gaming floor big enough to matter, does not come cheap. Building one from scratch can run anywhere from $500 million to well over $2 billion before a single card is dealt. The Wynn Las Vegas cost $2.7 billion to build. The Venetian, $1.5 billion. Even a mid-size regional casino with a modest hotel and a few hundred slot machines can easily run $200 to $400 million before opening day. But before you pour a single yard of concrete, there is a cost that stops most people before they even get that far. The gaming license. This is not a business you can decide to open on a Tuesday. Obtaining a commercial gaming license in the United States is one of the most invasive regulatory processes in the entire economy. The application alone, in most states, requires you to disclose every financial transaction you have made over the past decade. Every business partner, every loan, every lawsuit, every person you have ever been in business with must also submit to background checks. The process takes between 1 and 3 years in most jurisdictions. And that is assuming your application is approved. In some states, the number of available gaming licenses is strictly capped by law. You are not just applying. You are competing. Some markets have much steeper tax structures than others, New York and Pennsylvania versus Nevada and New Jersey, for example. And licensing fees alone can determine whether certain markets are financially viable before you've spent a dollar on construction. Online business plan. Once approved, the license itself costs between $500,000 and several million dollars depending on the state. Nevada, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania each run their own separate processes with their own fee structures and their own definitions of what makes an acceptable owner. Then comes the floor. A brand new slot machine costs anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. Many are themed and licensed to major movies and television franchises, which adds to the cost. If you want at least 500 slot machines, plan to spend around $10 million on the games alone. Grow-think slot machines and table hardware typically account for 15 to 20% of the total capital expenditure. Back-end systems, security cameras, and cage cash management are critical and must be purchased or financed before opening day. Gambling news. And that is before you staff the building. A large casino resort employs anywhere from 3,000 to 10,000 people. Dealers, pit bosses, surveillance operators, cage cashiers, hotel staff, security, maintenance, food, and beverage. The payroll on a property this size, before a single gambler walks through the door, runs into the tens of millions per year. The average monthly power bill for a casino runs between $250,000 and $500,000. Some casinos pay over $350,000 monthly, with about a third of that spent on slot machines alone. CostHack read that again. A third of the electric bill comes from the slot machines. And that is every month, before revenue, before profit, before anything. So here is the first thing nobody tells you when they picture owning a casino. You are not buying a money machine. You are buying a machine that needs an ocean of cash just to keep running. And the money only flows if the people inside it keep losing. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in this business. Here's where it gets interesting. Because the way a casino generates revenue is more mathematically precise and more deliberately engineered than almost any other business in existence. The foundation of everything is a concept called the house edge. Every single game on a casino floor is designed with a mathematical advantage built permanently in favor of the house. It never changes. It does not have good days and bad days. It simply exists quietly in every hand dealt and every spin taken. On a roulette wheel with a single zero, the house edge is 2.7%. Add an American double zero, and it climbs to 5.26%. Blackjack, played with perfect basic strategy, gives the house an edge of roughly 0.5%. Slot machines are where the edge gets serious. Most are calibrated to hold between 3 and 15% of every dollar wagered, depending on the machine and the jurisdiction. Now here is the critical math that turns a small percentage into an empire. The house edge is not what the casino makes on any one bet. It is what the casino makes across millions of bets, over thousands of hours, across hundreds of machines and tables running simultaneously. Each individual player can and does win in the short term, but the longer anyone plays, the more the math reasserts itself. And the casino is always playing the long game. The law of large numbers allows casinos to win in the long term, while gamblers win only in the short term. This is explained by the sheer volume of deposits made. American Gaming Association. This is why a casino does not panic when a high roller wins $500,000 at the baccarat table on a Friday night. They know the math recovers it, and then some, by Sunday. The second major revenue stream is what the industry calls non-gaming revenue. And this is where modern casino economics get genuinely counterintuitive. Atlantic City's 9 casinos generated $3.31 billion in total net revenue in 2024, split almost evenly. $1.66 billion from gaming and $1.65 billion from non-gaming sources including hotels, food, beverage, and entertainment. Play today. Read that carefully. Nearly half of the revenue of a major casino market came from activities that have nothing to do with gambling. Hotel rooms, restaurants, concerts, nightclubs, spas, retail. This is not an accident. It is the strategy. The modern casino does not exist to take your money at the blackjack table. It exists to keep you on the property as long as possible, spending across as many categories as possible. The gaming floor is the anchor. Everything else is built around maximizing the time you stay near it. Which brings us to the part of the casino business that nobody who hasn't studied it ever thinks about: the engineering of the floor itself. Walk into any major casino in the world, and you will immediately notice something absent. There are no clocks anywhere on the gaming floor, no windows, no view of the outside world at all. This is not a design oversight. By removing any external cues to time, casinos create a sensory bubble where hours dissolve into background noise. It's easy to think you've been playing for 45 minutes when it's actually been 3 hours. Without natural light or ticking hands to anchor you, your brain loses track. A phenomenon known as temporal distortion. Quora. Every element of the floor is designed with a single purpose: keep you playing longer. The bright lights and colors, music, collective hum of slot machines, and pleasant scents pumped through ventilation systems all signal to your brain: stay and have fun. Even the carpets have a psychological purpose. Most casino carpet designs are so visually busy that you couldn't possibly relax or feel tired in their vicinity. They keep your eyes up and on the games. The layout of the floor is not random either. Casinos are designed like labyrinths, with the layout intentionally confusing to keep you inside longer. The maze-like design makes it hard to find exits, so you end up staying longer than planned. Bathrooms, restaurants, and the exit are placed strategically deep inside the property, routed through the gaming floor. Every essential destination requires you to walk past machines. Read right. Then there are the slot machines themselves. The sounds they make are specifically engineered. Slot machines chime in major keys, a sound designed to register as a win even when the payout is smaller than the original bet. Your brain hears winning music. Your wallet loses money. These are not the same event, but the machine is designed to make them feel identical. Culture. And then there are the free drinks. Free drinks are not hospitality. They are a documented lever for lowering inhibition and impairing the judgment needed to recognize when to stop. Combine that with a room that has no clocks, chimes that make losses sound like wins, and machines calibrated to deliver frequent near misses, and continued play starts to look less like a personal failing and more like a predictable response to a highly engineered environment. Culture. This is the third revenue engine, and it is invisible. It is not a line item on the income statement, it is the multiplier on every other line item. Every additional hour a player spends on the floor because they lost track of time, because their inhibitions dropped, because they couldn't find the exit, is an hour the house edge keeps running, and the house edge never sleeps. Here is the counterintuitive detail inside all of this. The casino's most valuable asset is not its most profitable games, it is its most comfortable ones. A player who is comfortable, well-fed, slightly relaxed, and completely disoriented about what time it is will play longer than a player who is on edge. Longer play is always more valuable than higher bets, because time is the variable the house edge compounds against. Now here is the layer of casino economics that most people know exist but don't fully understand. The comp system. Comps, short for complimentary, are the free hotel rooms, meals, show tickets, and cash back that casinos give to players who gamble enough. On the surface, it looks like generosity. From the inside, it is one of the most precisely calculated profit tools in the business. Every casino tracks exactly how much every player bets, how fast they play, and how long they stay. This data feeds into what the industry calls a theoretical loss calculation. The mathematical estimate of how much a specific player is expected to lose over their session based on the house edge of the games they're playing. A player betting $100 a hand at blackjack, playing 60 hands an hour for 4 hours, has wagered $24,000. With a house edge of 1%, their theoretical loss is $240. The casino might comp that player a $150 dinner and a free hotel room. From the outside, it looks like the casino is losing money on the deal. From the inside, that $150 dinner and $200 room cost the casino maybe $80 in actual cost, and they bought 4 more hours of guaranteed play in return. The comp is not generosity, it is a retention tool with a precisely calculated return on investment. Exclusive lounges and gaming areas for VIP players make high rollers feel like royalty, inspiring them to place extravagant wagers to maintain their elite privileges. These psychological tricks play on our desire for social status and rewards. Casino.org. For the ultra-high-end player, the whale, in casino terminology. This system scales dramatically. A whale betting $50,000 a hand at baccarat might receive a private jet, a penthouse suite, personal butler service, and a line of credit arranged on site. The casino is not being generous. They are buying access to a player whose theoretical losses over a weekend can run into the millions. Wynn Resorts, MGM, and Caesars Entertainment each maintain dedicated international teams whose entire job is to identify, contact, and fly in high-net-worth gamblers from Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. The cost of acquiring one whale, private aviation, accommodation, entertainment, can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars per visit. It is a calculated bet that their gambling losses will return multiples of that investment. Let's talk about what runs underneath the revenue that most people never see. Gaming taxes are the largest and most punishing fixed cost in this business. Every state that allows commercial gaming taxes the revenue from it, but the rates vary wildly. Nevada taxes gaming revenue at between 3.5 and 6.75%. Pennsylvania taxes slot revenue at 54%. New York's rates can run even higher. Regulated gaming generated $17.86 billion in direct gaming tax revenue for state and local governments in 2025 alone. A record. That figure represents money paid out before a casino owner sees a dollar of profit. Slottigrader. Then there is the physical cost of running the building. Security is not optional, and it is not cheap. Every transaction on a casino floor must be recorded on surveillance. Every chip, every cash drop, every jackpot payout must be documented for regulatory compliance. A large casino might run hundreds of surveillance cameras simultaneously, staffed 24 hours a day, reviewed constantly. The surveillance and compliance operation alone can cost millions per year. Then there is the cage, the cashier operation that handles actual currency. Casinos operate with enormous amounts of physical cash at all times, and every dollar of it is subject to strict federal anti-money laundering regulations. The Bank Secrecy Act requires casinos to file a currency transaction report for every cash transaction over $10,000, and a suspicious activity report whenever something looks off. The compliance burden is enormous. The penalties for failure are catastrophic. Several major casino operators have paid fines exceeding $100 million for anti-money laundering violations. And finally, there is the debt. The capital required to build and operate a casino at scale almost always involves significant borrowed money. A $1 billion property might carry $600 or $700 million in debt. The interest on that debt runs every month whether the floor is full or empty. And when revenue dips, during a recession, during a pandemic, during a competitor's grand opening, that fixed debt service is what turns a bad year into an existential crisis. So does owning a casino actually work as a business? The honest answer is, it depends entirely on location, license scarcity, and scale. And the gap between the good outcome and the catastrophic one is as wide as any industry in the economy. In the optimistic scenario, you hold one of a limited number of gaming licenses in a state with high barriers to entry, no nearby competition, and a large population of potential customers. Your floor runs 24 hours a day. Your hotel keeps guests on property. Your restaurants and entertainment keep them spending across multiple categories. Your comp system keeps your best players coming back. And your house edge, that quiet, permanent mathematical advantage, compounds silently across millions of transactions every month. The U.S. commercial casino gaming industry generated a record-breaking $78 billion in revenue in 2025, 9.1% higher than 2024, with record annual gaming revenue reported in 34 states, plus the District of Columbia. Financial Models Lab. That is real money. That is a real business. The largest casino companies in the world, MGM Resorts, Caesars Entertainment, Wynn Resorts, are genuinely significant enterprises with tens of thousands of employees and revenues that rival major corporations. In the realistic bad scenario, a new competitor enters your market. Your gaming revenue drops 15%. Your hotel occupancy falls with it. Your debt service stays exactly where it was. Your compliance costs stay exactly where they were. Your 3,000 employees still need to be paid. And the gaming tax bill arrives exactly on schedule regardless of whether you had a good month. The Revel spent $2.4 billion. It recovered $82 million. Rolling Acres Mall went from 98% occupied to a pile of rubble. The same logic applies here. A casino floor looks from the outside like a building full of people having fun. From the inside, it is one of the most precisely engineered profit extraction systems ever designed. Every detail of the light, the sound, the layout, the smell, the time, the drinks, calibrated to keep money moving in one direction. The house always wins in the long run. The question is whether you, as the owner, can survive long enough to collect.